guys, today's video is going to be about why you should not be checking the 3D, which I think we all know. We all know not to check for results, check if our manifestation is here. You know, it's just a big no-no. It's one of the first steps that we figure out, right? Like, trust in the process, just let it unfold. You know that by affirming and manifesting it's yours. But I'm going to break down specifically where you may be going wrong, you know, just really kind of drill into this idea that you really shouldn't be checking the 3D whatsoever. So do thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoy this manifestation content. If you'd like to see more of these videos from me, it would mean a lot just to have you guys' continued support with likes, comments, turn the notification bell on as well. So, because I'm uploading pretty much every day about manifestation. So if you'd like to stay tuned with any uploads I have, I've also started doing YouTube shorts. So if that's the kind of content as well you'd like to see, then do turn my notifications on. I also offer one-on-one coaching if you're interested, which is all linked below for my coaching Instagram page. Get in touch with me if you're interested in doing that. So let's just get started. First point is that by checking the 3D, checking, as in when I say checking 3D, I mean like checking for results. Has my manifestation arrived? Whatever means you think it is, whatever you're waiting for, you know, on your phone, in the mail, a conversation for someone to have, whatever it may be, you know, something to come up in the news, it can be anything. You're implying a state of lack for yourself. You're creating a state of lack. It implies that you don't have what you want, and it's implying it to your subconscious mind. So it's really kind of a hindrance to your manifestation. And this is something I touched on in yesterday's video, no, not yesterday, 2 days ago's video, my previous manifestation video about how, you know, you could be creating lack for yourself, kind of holding yourself back a little bit, but ultimately you're suggesting that you don't have what you want. It's what you're kind of pushing in, feeding into your mind, your subconscious mind, by saying, let me check if it's here. You're not telling yourself it is here. You know, I'm looking at my phone screen right now and yes, it's blank, but it's got that text I want from my SP. It's got my friend reaching out to me saying exactly what I want to hear. You know, it's got an email notification saying I won the lottery. Whatever it is you want, whatever you're waiting for, you don't check, you just tell yourself you have it. I know it takes a lot of willpower and like mental strength not to do that, but it's essential because you're just going to get stuck in this loop of checking the 3D, checking for results, and it's just really not going to get you anywhere. Even if it's there, it's really not a good habit to develop, because then every single time, if your SP texts you once, for example, is usually with people, we do this more often, then, you know, you reply and then you're going to keep checking to see have they replied to my reply. So it's just going to create a bad habit. Just be like, of course they texted me, like I'm so glad that happened, and then you don't check for anything else. You're like, you know what, they'll continue to do it, I'll continue to see my positive results, and I'll let it come naturally, because you will get the inspiration to check. I've had moments where I randomly opened you know, a social media app or my emails. I just had this sudden thought, and it was obviously inspired action, and it was part of the manifestation unfolding perfectly, but I just very naturally was like, I'm just gonna open this and see what's there. You know, I might have had a notification. It wasn't from desperation, it was just me like curious, like, hey, maybe there's a notification. I wasn't like focused on it, I wasn't desperate for it, and lo and behold, it was exactly what I wanted, waiting right there for me, and I had no idea for like days and days beforehand, and I saw it days later, but you know what, I saw it at the time that I was meant to. So it just goes to show that you will find it naturally, it will be shown to you naturally. Do not check the 3D. If you are checking the 3D, a lot of the times it's coming from, like I said, a state of lack, desperation, like strong neediness for your manifestation. It's not coming from a positive, inspired action type of place. So if you do that, there's a high chance that it'll be pretty obvious there isn't your manifestation waiting for you in that notification, in that circumstance, that instance, that place that you're looking in. It's probably not going to be there because you're going out to look for it. You're going out to try and take action for it. So if you're going to do that, you're very likely to see something negative, something that It doesn't even necessarily have to oppose it, but it might just be blank space, it might be empty, it might be there's nothing new in the place you're looking, and that's just going to create disappointment and negative thoughts naturally, because your mind automatically be like, you know, his text isn't here, he hasn't texted me. You're literally affirming the opposite of what you want, saying he has not texted me. It's just going to naturally happen. You can't look at something negative or look at something that has an outcome that goes against what you want and think positive. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, yes, there's nothing here, this means everything is perfect. Like, it's just not the natural human thought that will arise in your mind. So it's very important not to check it, to avoid those negative spiraling type of thoughts to even come up. Because if you see something negative, if you've received a message that isn't really what you were hoping for, or you just got nothing, no physical proof yet for your manifestation in that place, you're not going to think very positively, you're not going to feel motivated, you're not going to feel very good in that moment. So it's best just not to do at all, and just create the assumption for yourself that I'm not going to check it, but I know it's there. Just tell yourself that. And it does take a little bit of training and willpower and mental strength. Perhaps a few times you'll falter and check. I've done this loads, I'm human. We all have. When we're really desperate or excited for something, we tend to like keep in like, has it happened? Has it happened? Oh my god, is it here? Is it here? It's just natural, but it's important to eventually train yourself out of that habit, because it does not benefit you. Next point that I want to touch on is that you don't even know how your manifestation will come to you. Try not to limit yourself. Don't force yourself or your subconscious mind or your assumptions to believe that, you know, the only way that they can contact me, the only way that this can come to me is if, or the only way that I can achieve this thing is if I do this, or this happens, or this person travels to this location and the weather forecast says this. That's the only way it will work. Do not limit yourself, because manifestation is perfect. You can control and change anything you set your mind on. So don't be like, you know, they have to add me on Instagram in order for them to message me. Like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. It could be literally anything. It could be pigeon mail. Like, it could be a stranger coming up to you on the street and being like, actually, I recognize you from a photo from my friend's Instagram. That is a bit out there, I know, but anything is possible. It could be the craziest, weirdest, most random moment in the world. So do not limit yourself, and don't even like think about the possibility of, but I have to check my Snapchat, I have to check my emails, I have to check my mail 3 times a day because it might have arrived. Don't do that, because you don't know how something will unfold for you. Just allow it to come to you naturally. Wait for the inspiration, wait for the natural things to happen. Just trust in yourself to know that when the moment is right, you'll get, your intuition will tell you, you'll get inspired action, you'll just get something telling you and being like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and check my mail, or you know what, I'm not gonna leave the house today. And then not leaving the house is what unfolds and leads to you being told about your manifestation coming true. It could be anything. So please do not limit yourself by constantly checking for results, you know, like all day long, or at a specific time. You're like, oh, this is probably when, you know, SP will message me, or this is when, you know, the university results come out, or whatever it may be. I'm trying to use as many examples as I can, because I don't want to limit it just to SP stuff. But if you keep checking that, you're just telling yourself it's only going to come this way. This is the way it's happening. Just relax and let it happen naturally. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Finally, I wanted to touch on the idea of SP, because this usually does relate to relationships, SPs, someone that you like, someone that you're trying to manifest into your life, someone you want to date. That's usually the case, and I think the majority of questions and comments I've received and people reaching out to me, it is a lot based on relationships and trying to get an SP. So if you are constantly checking the 3D, being like, oh my god, did they text me? You know, let me check their Instagram. Have they posted? Because it probably means they've read my message, or they've seen my story. Have they viewed my story? Things like this, it's actually holding you back. Any form of checking 3D is not you trusting and having confidence in the process, but specifically with an SP and in relationships with a guy, with a girl, whoever, you're holding yourself back because you're keeping them on the pedestal. You're putting themselves above you. You're putting them above yourselves, because you're saying, I need to check if this godly person has bestowed peasant little me with a message. Like, that's kind of the idea and the vibe you're giving out, and the vibe that you're feeding into for yourself, because you're saying, I need to sit here and every 5 minutes check if this one person out of the 7 billion people in the world have messaged me. And I know it's hard because when you have feelings for someone, when it's to do with a relationship, an ex, someone that you want to be with, your emotions are stronger. There's a, you know, the emotional effect on your actions is very strong, and I understand it. But you're holding them on the pedestal because you're wasting your time checking to see what they're doing, or if they've done what you want them to do. You know, have you had the movement? Have you had that message you're manifesting? Whatever it may be. You're holding yourself back. You're putting them on a pedestal by saying that they are so important in your life, that their opinion and the way, whatever they do in relation to you is so important that you need to sit here and wait for a message from them or check if they've done something. Like, you probably, none of us would probably do that for anyone else. Like, only a person that we're manifesting or something that we're desperate to get, that's the only time that we'd be doing that. If you text a random friend or a friend randomly about, you know, hey, do you want to meet up next week, go for coffee or something, it's pretty casual. If it doesn't happen, whatever, you go on with other plans in your life, right? You don't sit there every 5 minutes and be like, oh my God, has she confirmed for coffee? Is she typing? Is she online? Has she seen my Instagram story? Is she going to reply soon? You don't really do that. So you need to take the same type of approach to your SP and yeah, or whoever, whichever person you're kind of obsessing over, and stop checking the 3D. Live your life, focus on yourself. Find some other hobbies, find some tasks that take up your mind, take up your time and your mental energy for you to focus your mind on. You know, it could even be just watching your favorite film and eating some nice food, you know, then texting a couple friends to catch up with them. Take your mind off that person and that task. And again, it's a kind of a case of forcing yourself because it's probably not going to feel natural straight away. It's not going to feel pleasant because you're going to feel this kind of longing energy inside you to check, be like, but what if they have sent me a message? What if they're typing right now? Like, should I not check? No, because it's not coming from the right place. So hopefully that was good advice that you guys can kind of relate to. And hopefully that offers some inspiration and guidance and helps you understand better why checking the 3D, holding on to that, putting someone on a pedestal by placing far too much importance on what they do, why that's not going to help you. It's not going to speed up your manifestation. It's not going to reveal to you all the movement that's happened. It's not. It could cause you to spiral and have negative thoughts, which is just going to hold your manifestation back even longer. So please do thumbs up and subscribe if you found this useful, helpful. Leave any other video idea suggestions below. I do have quite a few that I'm going to do that people have suggested. So that will be coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.